This chart shows the global mobile phone market in the year 2000. That massive 40% slice belongs entirely to Nokia, pushing the company to a valuation of $270 billion while scattering its competitors. To understand how they got that big, you have to look at the devices themselves. This specific phone, the 3310, shipped 126 million units because it had a reputation for being nearly indestructible. And they were embedded into global culture. Everyone knew someone playing Snake, making Nokia's hardware a daily fixture in millions of lives. When people thought of Nokia, they pictured a piece of plastic and circuitry in their pocket. That tight association is exactly why their impending collapse looked like the end of the company. 2 years after Apple released the iPhone, Nokia responded with the N97 in 2009, but the device suffered from incredibly high failure rates straight out of the box and featured a slow, fiddly user experience. If we look at this flowchart, we can see the core issue. Instead of one unified system like iOS, Nokia relied on an operating system called Symbian. Because every new Nokia phone had a different screen size or keypad, they had to build dozens of custom Symbian variants, bringing their software development to a crawl. This next graph tracks the financial toll of that bottleneck. Profitability tanked, and by 2012, Nokia's market capitalization hit a record low, dropping all the way down to $7.5 billion. They still knew how to build a tough physical phone, but an unscalable software ecosystem made their devices obsolete. The consumer face of Nokia was wiped out. In 2013, Nokia made the difficult decision to sell its entire mobile phone division to Microsoft for over $7 billion. But this company actually started as a leading international telecommunications equipment manufacturer, long before they sold a single pocket device. Even the most famous early hit, the 6110, won massive market share because it was the first to feature dual-band antennas, allowing it to easily connect to networks across Europe and the United States. Throughout the 2010s, while the smartphone business bled cash, Nokia's dedicated network infrastructure division quietly generated enough revenue to absorb those massive losses and keep the lights on. Selling the phone division allowed them to drop a massive financial anchor and refocus all their resources on building the physical networks connecting the world. This diagram illustrates their new economic engine. Nokia controls a vault of over 30,000 patents. When global bodies set the standards for 5G protocols, Nokia's technology was so essential that every new 5G device maker now owes them a licensing fee. They used that massive influx of licensing capital to scale up, acquiring another major telecom company, Alcatel-Lucent, for $16.6 billion in 2016. That merger turned Nokia into the second-largest telecommunications equipment provider in the world. By supplying the physical cell towers and antennas for global networks, they brought in over $20 billion in 2024. They removed themselves from the brutal fight for consumer attention and secured a highly lucrative, guaranteed toll booth at the infrastructure level. Which brings us back to our opening mystery. Why is a modern AI giant like NVIDIA suddenly pouring $1 billion into Nokia today? This animation breaks down the reason. A new technology called AI RAN, or AI Radio Access Network. Instead of sending data to a slow, distant cloud server, AI RAN plugs complex AI models directly into the local cell tower, processing information almost instantly. And NVIDIA needs Nokia, because Nokia's hardware is already integrated into nearly all of the network infrastructure across America. Nokia's physical towers will now instantly process data to run NVIDIA's next generation of highly complex autonomous applications. They completely abandoned the smartphone war, choosing instead to manufacture the base layer of hardware that our digital economy relies on. By letting their public consumer brand die, Nokia secured their future, becoming the quiet, indispensable foundation for the next decade of technology.